two, one. Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening and welcome to the Fox Den. I am Gina B, and the place to be, P. Fox, the paranormal princess herself, Gina Bankston. And with me is my beautiful butterfly babe, the magical, the mystical Mama D, and we are here every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to bring you a variety of guests to entertain you and to help you in any way we possibly can. Thank you for joining us, and please share our feeds. Good evening, everybody. Tonight's guest is joining us via the phone lines. She's not with us on our live feed here. We'll show you her picture shortly, but she is with us. We have Dr. Susan Shumsky. We've had to reschedule this show because it was my fault that we had to cancel before. I wasn't feeling well, and it took a while to reschedule, but I'm so glad we finally did. But Dr. Susan Shumsky dedicates her life to helping people take command of their lives in highly effective, powerful, positive ways. She is a best-selling author of 17 books in English, published by Simon & Schuster, Random House Penguin, Red Wheel, New Page, and Skyhorse, as well as 34 books in foreign languages. She has won 31 prestigious book awards, a pioneer in the human potential field. She has taught meditation, prayer, affirmation, and intuition to thousands worldwide for decades. Dr. Shumsky is a highly respected spiritual teacher, award-winning author, and founder of Divine Revelation, a unique field-proven technology for contacting the divine presence, hearing and testing the inner voice, and receiving clear divine guidance. For over 2 decades, her mentor was Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, founder of Transcendental Meditation and guru to the Beatles. She served on the Maharishi's personal staff for 6 years, and you can see her websites are www.drsusan.org and www.divinetravels.com. She is here today to talk about her 2 new books, The Big Book of Chakras and Third Eye Meditations. And I do have a third one as well. And these are the books here. Awaken Your Third Eye is one that I found that I actually had on my shelf, Susan. And Chakras and Chakra Healing. Isn't that funny? So, so I'm going to ask you a couple questions.
That's great.
I know, because I have, if you could see me, I have a big library behind me and a lot of books. And I always, whenever I do someone like this, I always kind of go into that section. And I look around, well, what do I got? What can I reference? What can I, compare things to? And I'm like, hey, there's a Susan Shumsky book right there. And yeah. So it's like, okay, so now I got 3. And that one, and no, you can't have my books. You have to get your own books. but welcome. So, this, long-awaited time for you to be on the show.
Well, I'm excited to be here with you today, Gina. I can't wait to get started.
Absolutely. So what we'll do is we will start with the Third Eye Meditation book. And how about just this? How popular is meditation today?
Meditation is more popular than ever today. There have been surveys done, and in the United States, 10% to 14% of the population of the U.S. claims that they meditate. So that's a huge, huge number of people, millions of people in the United States who say that they practice meditation.
That is a lot. So now, Mama
and
D,
it's becoming more popular than ever because of a lot of celebrities getting into meditation. For example, the David Lynch Foundation, which is promoting transcendental meditation. A lot of major celebrities are meditating and being very vocal about it. including people like Katy Perry, Hugh Jackman, Russell Brand, and many, many others.
Hmm. Yes, well, I think it's kind of always been that way. But now the Beatles actually looked up to the Maharishi, and how did they work with him?
You know, it was way back in 1967, and George Harrison's wife, Patty Boyd, saw an ad in the Times of London about a meditation class, and she went there with a very close friend and learned Transcendental Meditation. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi was the founder of Transcendental Meditation. And so she went to the class and learned, and she had amazing experiences and told her husband, George Harrison, one of the Beatles, about this incredible meditation method. And so he replied to her, well, I want my own mantra. So he wanted to learn TM also. So what he did is he got tickets for all the Beatles to go and see Maharishi. He was appearing on August 24th in London at the Hilton Hotel, the Park Hilton Hotel. And they all went, and they were very favorably impressed by Maharishi. And then afterwards, they met Maharishi backstage, and they expressed to him that they were really seeking a genuine spiritual experience, and that they had tried to do that through LSD, but that didn't work out too well for them. Yeah. But they still wanted to have the experience. So Maharishi said, well, I am happy that the youth of today are so serious about expanding their consciousness and having experiences of spirituality, but drugs is not the way. But it just so happens that tomorrow I'm going to South Wales and New South Wales, Bangor, and I'm going to be teaching a 10-day Transcendental Meditation retreat.
Wow.
And so he invited the Beatles to come with him. They traveled on the train in public transportation, which they never did. But they went on this train with Maharishi, and they dubbed it the Bliss Express. And then they went up to Bangor, North Wales, and they learned TM. However, they did not stay for the entire 10-day retreat. Their stay was cut short because they arrived on the 25th of August, and then the next day they learned Transcendental Meditation on the 26th. But then on the 27th, unfortunately, they got news from London that their manager, Brian Epstein, had taken an overdose and died. So they had to go back to London to the funeral. But Maharishi did invite them to come to India, where he would be teaching a teacher training course in February of 1968, and that's the Beatles went there, and they met with Maharishi there in India.
Wow, that's fascinating. That is fascinating. Jeez, what a small world, I'll tell you. Mama, you got a question?
Susan? Yeah, I do. Hi, Susan. My name is Darlene Mama D. I'm the co-host who normally sits quietly, but sometimes. My question is, why is meditation important at this time, especially this time?
Yes, meditation is more important than ever at this time because we are living with an uncertain future right now. And meditation is a way for us, so many benefits there are to meditation. Number one, it's a way for us to become healthier, to have a stronger immune system. It's very important for us to be healthy and strong. Also, it's a way to reduce stress. So hypertension, stress, worry, fears, meditation can calm all of our fears. But really, one of the greatest benefits of meditation is developing intuition. And with intuition, we're able to make the wisest decisions. So in an atmosphere like we are in right now, which we've been in for quite a long time, in fact, an uncertain future, for people, I mean, especially now, really, it's a real uncertain future. But even outside of this pandemic that we're in at the moment, there has been an uncertain future for a long time because people can no longer rely upon the things that they used to be able to depend on, such as their pension, such as the government's going to take care of them. A lot of things that we thought we had slipped through our fingers, and we really don't have a clue what we're supposed to do and how we're going to survive. So intuition is a way to communicate with your higher self, which is much smarter than your ego or your intellect. It's so smart that it creates miracles in your life when you follow its guidance. So getting in touch with that still small voice within is of essential, I think vital. It isn't just a good idea. It really can save your life. In this case, that we're in right now, it can literally save your life. So by listening to that inner voice, by getting in touch with your higher self and allowing that to be your guide in your everyday life in a really practical way, asking questions such as, is it wise for me to go to this grocery store at this time? A question like that can possibly save your life. Think about it. So intuition is the most vital skill that we need at this time and really at any time.
I always say, yeah, intuition is a direct link either to from God or your spirit guides, you know, and never disregard what it's saying. When you get that pit in your stomach.
Absolutely, that is good. That's the best advice, Gina. Absolutely.
Why, thank you. Now, in your book, now there are lots and lots of meditations in here, and as a matter of fact, I had marked up. It's in chapter 15. Open the doorway to intuition and wisdom. So I thought that was kind of funny that you just brought that up because that's the one I was going to ask you about. You know, so well, give us a couple other examples of benefits that you could get
from developing your intuition?
Yeah. Besides the fact that you're not going to go out and get hit by a bus.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is there are a lot of benefits of meditation and of intuition. And some of the benefits include what I mentioned before, such as greater health, but also things like greater intelligence. And there have been a lot of studies done on meditation of all the great benefits, physically, mentally, and emotionally, that occur through meditation and also through developing intuition. But some of the benefits are not just for yourself as an individual, but also collectively as a society, even as a global family. The benefits are outstanding and outrageous, and people don't really understand what they are, but I'm going to talk about that here. Maharishi, my guru, who is the founder of Transcendental Meditation, he said that in order for the forest to be green, the trees must be green. In order for the world to be at peace, the individuals in the world must be at peace. And I always thought this was a really sound philosophy. It made a whole lot of sense to me, because how can you have a peaceful world when there are individuals in the world, so many individuals who are stressed out, unhappy, miserable, even criminal, even murderers? You can't really have world peace when you don't have peaceful individuals. So Maharishi dedicated his life to teaching as many people as possible to meditate. He trained 40,000 people during his lifetime, and those 40,000 Transcendental Meditation teachers, they taught 6 million people to meditate during his lifetime.
Wow.
And then what he did was he did scientific research on meditation. And he wanted to prove that if you could have a small percentage of people practicing meditation in a society, that crime rate would go down, that the wars would subside. So he did experiments. He sent hundreds of people to war-torn areas and to crime-ridden areas, and they meditated together in large groups. They did group meditations together. And what he found was, and what statistically the scientists did studies, and they found that when these people would go to these areas and meditate together, crime rate would go down. Wars would subside, just as Maharishi had predicted. So, you know, we're living in a different world now than we used to live in the 20th century.
Yeah.
20th century was filled with so many wars and millions of, you know, young men coming back home in body bags. There was 40 million people killed in World War I, 70 million people killed in World War II. Other wars were smaller than that, but they still had millions of people coming home in body bags. But now, in the 21st century, the world doesn't look like that at all. We're living in a relative state of peace compared to that. And I do believe that it is through the efforts of many people throughout the world meditating, doing prayer, doing affirmations, doing spiritual practices that this has come about. And thank you for all of the spiritual teachers who came to the West to bring meditation into the West. For example, my guru, who first arrived on the shores of America in 1959, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, when he arrived, there was no meditation, there was no mantra, there was no yoga, there was no guru. These terms did not exist in the West. And within 10 years, Maharishi, with a little help from his friends, the Beatles, by the way, made these into household terms. So meditation has benefits not only for individuals, but for the entire global community.
Oh my God, you said a mouthful.
Yeah.
But that makes total sense. You know, the world, yeah, I think it's in a little better position than it was, you know, war wise, loss of body wise, maybe count, you know. But I mean, the wars are still going on. People are still, you know, who we have to teach to meditate is people like Trump, Kim, whatever his
Kim
name.
Jong-un.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like all these other people we need to teach to meditate, and maybe they can find their inner peace. But I have a question in the chat room I want to ask you. I've had it up while you were speaking, from Dave, and he says, do I need to meditate when I've already found inner peace?
Dave, if you have found inner peace, glory, hallelujah to you. That is awesome. And I'm glad that you are peaceful, because we as individuals either contribute to world peace or to world suffering through every thought, every word, and every deed that we do. So we are responsible not only for ourselves, but for the entire universe, because we contribute moment by moment, day by day, to peace on earth and peace throughout the universe if we are peaceful within. So I'm glad that you have found peace within. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I think, you know, it's a maintenance thing. And I think everybody needs to maintain that, you know, state of spirituality and your connection. You know, you can't like, you know, not eat for a day, you know, you can't not drink water. So you can't not meditate. You know, once you find that, you know, state, you want to hit that nirvana, you know.
And stay there, yeah.
You want to stay there.
It's kind of like going to a gym, and when you want to get into shape. Once you're in shape, you got to keep it up. You can't just, okay, I'm in shape, I'm gonna stop now, because then it just kind of end up like me.
Us. But you know, hey,
The reality is that there are many ways to achieve peace. Meditation is not the only way. There's also prayer. There's also affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also physical things that we can do to to be in a peaceful state. And there are many different practices, various yogic practices, for example, such as yoga postures, yoga breathing, yoga mudras, and yoga bandhas, meaning muscular locks, and other spiritual practices from many different traditions that can help us to become more peaceful. Meditation is not the only thing that we can do to become peaceful. But I would advise Dave, in whatever way it is, if he is attaining peace, for him to continue with that and maintain that in his life. It's a good idea to do that.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And yes, in these books, all of these books that I have here, plus the, I don't know, hundreds of others that she's written. How many books are there? I mean, there's so many. She has so many books. Okay.
Yeah, and you can find them on Amazon.com and Barnes and Noble. And I didn't get a chance to check, but I'm pretty sure you can find them on Amazon.ca as well. As Canadians, got to get our 2 cents in there.
Yes, Mama's.
Yes,
Yes,
you can
Mama.
find them on any Amazon sites throughout the world. Actually, you can find my books. And I have 15 books in print in English, and I have 34 foreign editions, and I've won 33 book awards.
Oh, so when
Nice.
I said 30, I thought I said 31 book awards. See, 33. She's got 2 more.
I just
Two
won,
more that you
I
didn't know
just won 2 more.
Awesome. See that?
Awards last week.
Wow. Wow.
Nice,
See
nice.
that? And what
Happy to say.
a lot happens in it. Congratulations. So
Congratulations, indeed. Yes.
correction to my bio at the beginning of the show, not 31, 33 prestigious book awards. Oh, that's awesome. So now
We have
Jake,
another question in the chat room. Jacob Briggs. I have read that crystals have an impact on your intuition and other things like your third eye. Are crystals a critical part of meditation, or are they optional?
Oh, thank you for that question. And crystals are instruments that can be used in various ways, and it's possible to read about them and how to use them. You can take classes and learn how to use crystals. But no, they are not instrumental for meditation. You do not have to have anything to do with crystals. If you never met a crystal in your entire life, you could still have perfect experiences of meditation. Crystals are not really part of meditation. They're used quite a bit with healing, and crystals have a property that they can retain energy. So you can program a crystal to do certain things. In other words, if you want to do certain healing work, or if you have an intention that you want fulfilled, you could use a crystal for that purpose, because they do retain energy.
cool.
And by the way, they're non-denominational. Crystals don't judge whether it's good or bad energy. They just hold the energy. So it's possible to put bad energy into a crystal as well as good energy.
Yes, right. And then after a time, it's good to cleanse them and recharge them. And usually, I tend to tell people to like recharge them by the full moon. Just put them outside, just put a little dirt on them, and let the full moon hit them all night. And never, ever, ever clean your crystals with salt water. It will ruin them. Okay. You can use distilled water, regular water, holy water, right? Singing bowl. But put them out in the full moons and let them recharge that way. Sharon, why were you speaking French in the chat room? I don't understand. But she finally wrote something in English. So my amethyst crystal is deteriorating for some reason. Are you washing it in a way that's really strange? Unless you're doing something to it, I don't understand why that it would do that. But where is it? How old is it? What have you done with it?
Make sure it's not in the sun.
Yeah, lots of things. Is the cat battering it around the house? Lots of things. What is actually going on? Don't really know. Now, Susan, okay, now this is my favorite subject and my favorite type of meditation. What is guided meditation, and how does that differ from other types of meditations?
Well, my latest book is called Third Eye Meditations. It's a fabulous little book. I call it a little book because it is a little book. And it's a wonderful book that's filled with guided meditation. And what is guided meditation? Well, it's the easiest way that anybody can meditate because you're guided through the process step by step by whoever is guiding you into meditation. This particular book has tons of guided meditations, affirmations, prayers, and mantras that you can use to solve particular problems in your life or to enhance specific aspects of your life. And it's a good idea to just read these. However, even better would be to speak and record these onto a device and then sit comfortably, get really comfy and cozy, and then play back the meditation as you close your eyes, and your own voice will lead you into the meditation. Another option you have is this particular book, Third Eye Meditations, is available as an audiobook. Now, the cool thing about this particular book is that there are various aspects of life that you're opening the doorway to in this book. So opening the doorway to infinite consciousness, to guided meditation, to divine love and light, to forgiveness and gratitude, to inner strength and protection, to inner peace and contentment, to meaningful relationships, to a purposeful, authentic life, to health and energy, to meaningful abundance, to real power and true success, to universal love, to ecological balance, to world peace, to intuition and wisdom, to wholeness and oneness, to spiritual lifting, and to ascension. And those are the titles of the chapters of this book. And there are meditations that deal with each one of those subjects. So by going through this book, you're really dealing with all different aspects of life. You're enhancing and lifting all different aspects of your life. Meditation, in my opinion, is the panacea to all ills. And guided meditation, in my opinion, is the easiest way to achieve a meditative state because I call it the do nothing program. That means you do nothing, and less than nothing. You just follow the instructions step by step as you're led into the meditation. And all you have to do is just listen, and automatically the results will come. It's so awesome, so profound.
Definitely, definitely. And if you don't like the sound of your own voice, maybe you can have someone that has a calming voice and say, hey, can you just, record this for me?
Record this for me? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So whoever, in your
That's a
family
good idea.
or your friends or whatever. And because they are really good, and yes, it is step by step, so you read through it first and then it has the suggestion, record this, start at this point, get yourself comfortable. Don't lay down, don't fall asleep, don't be comfy,
Yeah.
It's really well done. Well, you have lots of practice, so
And as I said, Gina, also you can get it as an audiobook. It comes as an audiobook, and it has a lovely voice that's reading it. Not my voice, but someone with a better voice than mine is reading it. Someone who's professional.
Yeah, that's a sometimes I get audiobooks and sometimes they don't have the best voices for these books. It would be like a more feminine voice when it should be a really deeper dramatic voice or something. It just doesn't fit it. But
Yeah.
But these you can see, you can do test things too. You can do test pages before you get an audiobook to make sure that it's going to be something to jive with you, or get it and do it on your own pace, in your own time, in your own spacing. You know what you need. And there is, and she said them all. There is a meditation for everything. Whatever issue is going on in your life today might not be the same issue going on tomorrow or last week, So it's going to be different. So that is why it's important to have several for different areas and aspects of your life, to benefit. Read the whole book, see where you're at. What do I need today? You might not know that you need something. You might open it up and go, oh my God, there's my answer. That's what I'm looking for. And there it is. And then it's like, why didn't I see this before?
Exactly. A book like this, like Third Eye Meditations, or one of my other books, Instant Healing, which has 243 healing affirmations and prayers in it. A book like these two books that I've written, you could use them as a divination tool. In other words, just open to a page and there's your answer, or open to a page and there's the meditation or the prayer that you need to use right now. A lot of people are using my books in that way.
Right. Exactly. But you can use these books in so many different ways. Like I said, I found this, I just lost my little Foxy bookmark thing, and I just lost my page, and I had it on a page in Awaken Your Third Eye. Oh, this is funny. You actually have a sense of humor in this book, because you have a test at the beginning, and it's it's a test. It's a third eye IQ test. Now we're going to ask you what the third eye is. You can, say what that is. So, but I'm going to ask this question to the audience first. Okay. I want to know, right? She has a test in her book. Okay. The Awaken Your Third Eye. And it's like, how many, 17, 20 or so questions. But the first one is, what is a third eye? A, the all-seeing eye in the forehead. B, the Cyclops. C, clairvoyant ability. D, the seat of wisdom. E, an endless peyote trip.
Peyote.
But because there's always a funny answer too to these questions. So but there's a lot of questions, and then there's a way to score yourself at the end. And even the way that you wrote, what your scoring is, if you did this, then, you could be writing these books. You don't need these books. It was just hilarious. So your sense of humor.
What was the response? What was number C?
Right. C was clairvoyant ability. So you have, what is the third eye? The all-seeing eye in the forehead. B, the Cyclops. C, clairvoyant ability. D, the seat of wisdom. E, an endless peyote trip.
Okay, because Jacob said it was C.
Jacob, nope, that is not true.
This one.
That is not true. Nope, that is not true. It is D, the seat of wisdom. So, please, Susan.
Seat of wisdom, that's what it is, yes.
Elaborate.
So what is the third eye?
You want to elaborate?
Yes.
Yes, the third eye is the eye of illumination. It is the place where the inner teacher dwells. Every one of our energy centers or chakras, they're called chakras.
Chakras.
Every one of our 7 major chakras has a planet associated with it. The 6th chakra, also known as the third eye chakra, is the seat of the planet Jupiter. And now Jupiter is, according to the Sanskrit language, in Sanskrit, the word for Jupiter is guru, astonishingly. So the guru is the inner teacher. It is the preceptor. It is the seat of wisdom. It is the higher self that we can turn to and receive inspiration, wisdom, healing, love. We can receive answers to our questions. So that's where Jupiter dwells, meaning the guru, the inner teacher. That's in our third eye. That's
awesome. See, now you have to get that book because you have to see the rest of the whole thing. I got a few of those questions right just because I read your other book. Otherwise, I would not have known those. Hi, Christiane. Nice of you to join the chat room. Everybody, please share this feed, share our YouTube video. Please go to the YouTube, like and subscribe there. We appreciate you all so much.
And if anybody has any questions in the chat room, please pop them into the chat room. Even Christiane, who is our one and only listener over in the YouTube. Thank you. Okay. Pop them into the chat room. We will ask them. Okay.
Yeah, we do see them, and that's awesome. I'm glad because we just started that, Susan, a YouTube channel. You know, so this streaming live, we're doing the streaming live on Facebook and streaming live to YouTube at the same time. So it's awesome, as well as the radio show too. So you know, we have a lot of different venues that between audio and video that it's going out over. So now we were talking about guided meditations and we were talking about the third eye. So let's combine those, and how does guided meditations help people to open that third eye?
I'm so glad you asked that question. That's a great question. Yes, guided meditation is a great way to open the third eye. And why is that? Because you're following the instructions. And the instructions are telling you to do specific things. And most of the things it's telling you to do, you are visualizing. Now, you may not think you're good at visualizing. It really doesn't matter if you're good at visualizing or not. The reality is you're developing your ability to visualize by following the instructions in the guided meditation. That's how simple it is. It's not like you have to try or put effort or strain or concentrate or anything, or try to picture something in your mind. I was never good at picturing things in my mind. I remember decades ago when I really thought I couldn't picture anything. But through doing guided meditations, I noticed that I was able to start seeing things in my inner eye. They just would suddenly appear as I was listening to the guided meditation and following the instructions. All of a sudden, I was seeing lights, I was seeing people, I was seeing different things in the inner eye that would just come to me through following the instructions of the guided meditation, which takes you on various journeys to various places and so on. And these are places in the inner planes, and you're automatically going to start visualizing, and that develops your third eye. It's amazing.
It is. I've said this on the show before, but I want to tell you, I want to have you, I want you to give me a feedback on my experience. I did a guided meditation to find spirit guides, okay? And what it did is it took you through a field, down a set of stairs, into a cave, like down a tunnel, and then into the cave. The cave opened up, and it was like illuminated in gold, and you were supposed to stay there, okay? And you were going to get visited. However, me, being me, and the overachiever, I seen a little teeny speck of light, like coming through the outside. And of course, I'm looking at it going, what is that? And I have to pick at it. And then it breaks down, and I have to knock it down. And then I go, there's a field out there. And there's all my foxes were out there. So I'm like, but all right, I knew this. This is not news to me. All right. I know that, the foxes are my spirit animal. So, I'm looking at the foxes, and then I kind of crawl out, and then I kind of stop, and the foxes are in front of me, and the field goes back. There is a being, right? I thought it was a man at first because it was long hair, long robes, long hair, standing at a big, like an altar looking thing with a big, huge book, really, really thick. All right. Because I could see the edges of the book, and he was facing it. And then he turned and he looked at me, and the face looked like, if anybody ever watched a show that used to be on television called Vincent, and he would turn into like that lion kind of looking thing with the smush nose and stuff. So he kind of had a lion-like face, but it was so serene, so etherical, like a holier than a being than I could ever possibly even imagine being. And I knew I shouldn't be there, so I didn't go up to it. I didn't try to communicate with it. I just looked at him. He looked at me and just kind of gave me that look like, all right, I see you there. And then he just stared at me for like a couple, not even a minute, and then turned around, went back to the book. And I was like, okay, break eye contact. That means I can go. So I kind of creeped back into my cave where I was supposed to be. But I'm telling you, that experience will never, ever leave me. I can see it so clearly. I drew a picture of it. I posted it on my page. That was years ago. I posted it on my page. I've posted it several times since. But I always ask that opinion because it was just pivotal in my journey.
Oh, that's a beautiful experience, Gina. And the next time you meet him, ask him what his name is. And then
Hopefully.
ask him to give you a signal or a sign that you can use in your everyday life to know that it's him who's coming to communicate with you. And the signal it should come to you in one of 6 ways, either seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, feeling, or getting an involuntary movement in your body. So ask for a signal, ask for a name, and ask also, does he come in the name of God? Or you can ask, do you come in the name of the Christ? You can say, do you come in the name of God? Or you can say, do you come in the name of the Christ? And then after you ask him that, that's really the first question to ask him. After you ask him that, then ask for his name and ask for him to give you a signal. Everything that I teach is based upon one principle, and that is ask and it shall be given unto you. A lot of people, when they do meditation, they just go into a state of peace and quietude, but it's very passive. And they're not having a communication with a divine being. They're never calling upon a divine being in the first place. And they're not having any communication with a divine being. What I recommend is that when you are in that deep state of inner peace and relaxation during deep meditation, is then you ask, you ask for a divine being to come, ask by name. In other words, you can say, Saint Germain, please come to me now, or Archangel Michael, please come to me now. In other words, ask for a divine being to come.
Okay.
And ask for specific experiences. You can ask for healing, for inspiration, for creative ideas. You can ask to solve a specific problem that's going on in your life. Maybe a conflict you're having at work, or a conflict you're having in the family, or with a specific person, a specific relative maybe, and ask to be shown or to be told what the solution is to that problem. Start a dialogue with the divine being that you're in touch with. And that's the way you can begin to work with these divine beings and to have a much fuller experience with them. So, in fact, Gina, if you want, you could call upon that divine being and ask him to come. And then ask the questions. Do you come in the name of God? And what is your name? And find out who it is.
I will do that. I really will. Just again, like I was saying about opening the book and like there it is, you're going to see something that you need. You just said something that I need. And maybe some of you guys too, because I do that. If I go on a paranormal investigation, that is what I do. I ask the spirit to give me all this information. Who are you? Why are you here? What are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. Conversation. I didn't think to have a conversation with this being. I just felt like I shouldn't talk to him. I was really nervous about it. So
that was fine. That was fine. It was perfect. You had the perfect experience at that time. And now I'm just asking that you go a little deeper with that and have more of an experience with that divine being.
Yeah, so it's okay. You know what I mean? It's like, I just feel like I get permission. You know what I mean? Like, thank you for giving me permission to do that. I needed that. I really, really did. Yeah. So, Mama, you want to ask a question?
Yeah. Why is guided meditation so easy to practice compared to other meditations?
Well, there's a lot of different kinds of meditations, and I know you asked about the other forms before, and I failed to talk about that previously. But so there's so many different forms of meditation. For example, transcendental meditation, which is the first type of meditation that I learned how to do. That one uses a mantra. A mantra is a Sanskrit word or group of words that is repeated mentally, or it can be chanted as well. But in transcendental meditation, it's repeated mentally, and that takes you into a very deep meditative state. It takes you into what's known as transcendental consciousness, otherwise known as samadhi, which means evenness of mind and stillness of body. Or it's also called Sat Chit Ananda, which means absolute bliss consciousness. And that state of consciousness is what we call the fourth state, because it is beyond the states of waking, dreaming, or deep sleep. So that fourth state of consciousness is attained through that method, transcendental meditation, and through other methods of meditation. There's different types of meditations. Many of them are practiced as seated in a chair and quietly going into a deeper and deeper state of awareness, which expands your consciousness and widens your awareness. It gives you wide-angle vision, and you experience something known as unbounded awareness. And there are other forms of meditation that are actually done with eyes open or even walking around. There could be forms of meditation that are like that. And then there are other forms of meditation where you're supposed to focus, concentrate, put strain or effort into it, and that's not very effective. That will not work. Straining the mind is completely antithetical to meditation. Meditation is about letting go, going deep, and having an extremely relaxing experience. Deep relaxation and inner peace indicates that you are successfully meditating. So a reason why guided meditation can be so effective is because, as I said before, it's the do nothing program. Do nothing, nothing less than nothing, just follow the instructions, and you really can't go wrong with it because you're just following instructions, and that will take you into that deep meditative state. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I think that was a good answer, and I think I can say, like, in simpler terms, for the cluttered mind, the ones that can't relax and just meditate on your own. That's why I said before, it's my favorite form of meditation, because I can't shut the brain off. I'll start thinking about, oh my God, I got to do this. I got to go there. I got to, and I won't stay focused. But if I have a guided meditation in front of me, then, hey, I can follow it. It's easy to do. You can just, make sure you can lose yourself in it. You can go deeper at the right time. It's all good. And Sharon Phillips,
Yeah.
you write one more thing in that chat room in
Yes,
French.
Can I just say one thing about what you said? That's so correct, because the great thing about guided meditation is that it does engage the mind. You're actually listening to this meditation, to the instructions, or you're reading them on a page. But I prefer the idea of recording it and playing it back, or else listening to the audio book.
Right.
Or listening to guided meditation through audio. Simply because what it does is it engages your mind so that your mind isn't going in 25,000 different directions. You're actually listening to it. And if the mind drifts off, it doesn't matter. But, you just go back and listen to it, and you just continue to listen to it, and not putting any effort or strain into it, it will take you into that deeply relaxed and peaceful state that you're seeking.
I love that answer. I really, really do. Now we are almost at the halfway mark, and I was just wondering, before we go and do our little commercial break, would you want to maybe do a 5-minute meditation or a few-minute meditation, like a sample?
Sure. Let's get comfortable right now, and let's get really comfortable and cushy. Not sitting in the middle of the floor in lotus position with your back straight. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Get comfortable on your chair or on your couch or wherever you're sitting. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes and keep your eyes closed until I tell you to open them. Let's take a big deep breath to unite with each other. Breathe in. Big deep breath. And then let it all go. A big deep breath of divine love. Breathe in. And release. Big deep breath of relaxation. Breathe in. And let it all go. Big deep breath to unite with God. Breathe in. And release. Release, release, release. Release and be at peace. Peace, peace. Be still. Be still and be at peace. Perfect peace, perfect peace, perfect peace. Be still and be at peace. Let us now imagine that there is a beautiful, beautiful sphere of light above our heads. A beautiful sphere of light of whatever color you see above your head. This light is brilliant and it is blazing with love and with peace. It is blazing with joy and optimism and contentment and fulfillment. And that beauteous light is the light of God. And just imagine it above your head and it is beginning to descend into your body. It starts to descend in through the top of the head, down into the area of the middle of the head, which is where your third eye is located, illuminating, touching and illuminating the third eye in the center of the head. And is now descending into the area of the jaw and the neck, completely relaxing all areas of the head and vibrating and radiating peace and love and light. And now it's descending into your shoulders and your arms, your upper arms, descending into your lower arms and your wrists and hands and fingers. And just being lit up by this divine light, which is so brilliant and bright and beautiful. And now this light is spreading down into the chest, and the heart chakra is illuminating, and the light is descending into the area of the stomach and the navel chakra. And it is now descending down into the area of the pelvis and the sacral chakra, and descending downward, filling and surrounding your entire body with light, filling the body with light, radiating and vibrating into the root chakra, which is at the base of your spine, lighting and illuminating that area, and into the buttocks and the thighs, which are being lit up and illuminated and filled with radiance. And then the knees and the legs are being illuminated, and the entire body is relaxing as this beauteous light is spreading down through the body into the lower legs, into the feet and the toes. And your entire body is being engulfed in this radiant, beauteous light, the light of God, which is vibrating, radiating, scintillating. And we are filled with this beauteous divine energy. We are filled and surrounded with this energy. We are encompassed. Our entire body is encompassed with this energy, and it is now radiating outward beyond the boundaries of the body into the place where we are, touching our loved ones, touching our immediate area, touching the city that we're living in, and the state of province, going out, radiating, vibrating outward, touching the entire country, and touching North America and South America, illuminating these areas of the world, Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia, Oceania. The entire planet is being lit up by this radiant divine light that is spreading throughout the world, bringing love, bringing perfect health, bringing divine immunity to all disease, bringing radiance, happiness, prosperity, and love for all beings, illuminating the entire planet and illuminating the entire universe. So with great gratitude in our hearts, we now come forth from this meditation, knowing that we are spreading this divine light from our own being into the entire universe. And let's just pretend like we're blowing out some candles. I'll demonstrate. Let's do that together. Coming back from this meditation, knowing that we are living in the heart of God, we're dwelling in the divine presence, and we're radiating divine love and light throughout the universe. Let's blow out 3 more candles. And we're blowing out 3 more candles, come all the way outward to inward and outward balance, and then open our eyes. Come all the way out to inward and outward balance. Open your eyes wide and just repeat this affirmation after me. I am alert.
I am alert.
I am very alert.
I am very alert.
I am awake.
I am awake.
I am very awake.
I am very awake.
I am inwardly and outwardly balanced.
I am inwardly and outwardly balanced.
I am in control.
I am in control.
I am the only authority in my life.
I am the only authority in my life.
I am divinely protected by the light of my being.
I am divinely protected by the light of my being.
Thank you, God, and so it is.
Thank you, God, and so it is.
So it is. Oh, thank you so much. That is wonderful.
Hi, welcome.
Okay.
Thank you. That was very nice.
All right, so now while you all catch your breath and come on back to us, we're going to take a little commercial break. It's only 3 minutes, and we will be right back. And then we are going to be talking about her other book, the Big Book of Checkers. Checkers. All right, we'll be right. The Fox Den is now proudly sponsored by Vortex Ghost Gear, one of the leading fabricators of paranormal equipment. Bob Christopher is the founder and creator of Vortex Ghost Gear. He has decades of investigating, starting with his team at NEPA, and as lead in the popular local TV show Ghost Detectives, he has experience of how spirits could be seen or heard. Using this knowledge, he has manufactured equipment for specific scenarios of spirit manifestation and communication. He is the only manufacturer of the popular lifelike trigger prop cats and dogs. Using proximity meters wired to lights and sound, these prove to be highly effective communication devices in the field of study. The HTO, another Vortex exclusive, allowing specific items to be the highlight or trigger of your investigation. For example, place the item on a metal tray or attach directly to any metal object such as keys or glasses that continue to go missing or moved. Ask the spirit to touch the item. The HTO will light. It has a sound option as well. This device was used in Travel Channel's Ghost Nation with great results. The Dome, a static detector, can be the most useful device in your gear bag. This is to back up the theory that the spirits manifest using static electricity. Using several, you can track a spirit, for example, walking down a hallway, setting off each as it passes. The geophone detects vibrations. This is another way to track movement. If a claim is footsteps in the hallway or stairwell, set the sensitivity and place the device in that area. Its band of lights will show a range of vibrations from the slightest tapping, lighting only a few lights, to the loudest thumping, lighting the entire range. The Easy Scan Ghost Boxes are very popular due to the ease of use. They are custom decorated to the individual or team using them. Bob programs and uses an Arduino-based computer scanning FM waves to potentially communicate with the spirit realm in real time. Every box is unique and all custom hand decorated by Gina Bankston. The V-Pod has a special place for those who love the idea of REM pods. Use this sleeker, smaller, easier to transport device. It is a must-have in your gear bag. Take your investigating to the next level with many of Vortex Ghost Gear's unique and custom creations by Bob Christopher. Visit www.vortexghostgear.com to view all the products and get your equipment today. You can also investigate with Bob and Gina with ghostly excursions, taking people to some of the most haunted locations in the USA. Visit www.ghostlyexcursions.com and join us on our next adventure. And we're back. And we are with Susan Shumsky still. We're going to be talking, we did Third Eye Meditations, which is this book that's shown in the center of this picture. And now we're going to the Checkers and the Checker Healing book. And we are going to be talking about that one. So first question. This is a big one because a lot of people don't understand what it is. So we're going to talk about auras. All right. So what is the aura? Susan, are you still with us?
Did she
I'm
mute
sorry,
her?
I was on mute.
Oh,
I was gonna say, did she pull a Mama D?
I'm looking, I'm going, no, I'm still connected. Where'd she go? Did she fall
So I'm
asleep?
talking away to nobody.
Oh, okay.
So the aura is the energy field that pervades, permeates, and surrounds your physical body. It is in a different dimension. We are multidimensional beings. We live in several dimensions at the same time. In India, they call the 5 layers of your body Panchakosha, meaning 5 sheaths. So we start with the physical body. The physical body is called Annamaya Kosha, which means food sheath. And the reason it's called food sheath is because it's made of food, sustained by food, and becomes food for something else after we're gone. That's the food sheath, our physical body. The next sheath is called the Pranamaya Kosha, which is the sheath made of prana. Prana is life force energy. It's called prana in India. In China, it's called chi. And in Japan, it is called ki. So that is the life force energy that is actually creating life. It is allowing you to have heat and to have motion. It keeps you upright. It brings you life. And then another sheath, another subtle sheath, is called the Manomaya Kosha, which is your mental and emotional body. And that's where your senses are, by which you perceive the world. And also, that's where your emotions are, and your ability to be conscious. And then there is what's called the Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is your intellect ego sheath. And that sheath is how you decide and discern and how you see yourself as your ego. It's an illusory idea of who you think you are. And then there is something called the Anandamaya Kosha, which is your causal body. And that's how you individuate from things around you. You become an individual. So these are the 5 sheaths of your aura or auric field. Also, there are higher bodies, such as the I am body or the Atman, or the God body or Brahman. So other sheaths of your body exist besides these 5 basic ones, but these all comprise your aura or auric field.
Very, very good. Now, how come they have colors?
I'm sorry, say that again.
How come they have colors, the aura, and how is it like some people
The
say?
colors, yeah, the colors actually represent emotions and also represents the health or unhealth of your body, your mental body. And that health or unhealth of your mental body, if not corrected, will result in physical illness. And you can read physical illness through the auric field as well, things that already have manifested in the body. For example, if you have a black or kind of a muddy area in your auric field, that will correspond to something, maybe a problem in your physical body. And people who are medical intuitives, they can read the energy field that way.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now, because I was learning that, like Reiki, did Reiki, Mama's done Reiki. I was going to the pranic healing end of it because I could feel it in my hands. But I can create that ball of energy in my hands and push it out, force it out. And like you were saying, the ki and the chi and it's like that, like qigong, where you can really blow that burst of energy. But yeah, pranic healing is a definite interesting subject for me. I do want to continue that at some point. I want to continue that learning. I want to go because when you were saying, like what we're talking about prana, and that was gonna be our next question, was about prana. But I want to go back to the other book, okay, not the chakra book that we're in, the Awaken Your Third Eye book again. Back to that little quiz. I'm going to ask you guys 2 questions. One's kind of a review and see who is paying attention, and 2, what's prana? Okay, so 1, what does the word guru mean? Okay. A, how do you say it? Ajna, A-J-N-A, Anja chakra. B, the planet Jupiter. C, the third eye. D, a teacher who knows better than me what's best for me. E, who Gollum was in a past life. These kill me. I love it. So who was paying attention on the first part of the show? Because she did say this.
Well, I'm going to keep my comment to myself until somebody else says something in the chat room. But I definitely don't think it was Gollum.
Nope. I'll tell you. Okay, it's not Gollum, and it's not a teacher who knows better than me.
That would be me.
So yeah, we can see the. How do you say it, Susan? A-J-N-A, Anja. Anya. Anja. Chakra. Anja. You're going to have to give me speech lessons. I have a hard enough time butchering the English language just because of my Massachusetts accent, let alone trying to say this. Okay.
So what letter was that? That was letter B?
A was the Anja.
Anja. Okay, so it's letter A. Because everybody in the chat room is saying D. So no, it was letter A, the Anja.
Anja, that's the A. And B is the planet Jupiter. C is the third eye. D is a teacher who knows best. What is best for me? E is Gollum in the past life. So I'm just going to tell you what it is. All right. So y'all wrong there. Y'all wrote D. No. Okay. It is B, the planet Jupiter. Do you remember when she said that? When she referred to the guru, everyone had the planets, and that was Jupiter. Okay.
But it's funny, a lot of people use the word guru as their teacher. My guru is,
right, mentor.
So that's why, that's why everybody in the chat room is DD.
Right, I know, but the word itself, it doesn't mean that. That's what they do, but it doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
So Christiane writes, by definition, a spiritual leader, I believe. But all in all, no, she did say that. That was a planet Jupiter. Okay, now, what does the word prana mean? A, moving or breathing forth. B, subtle energy. C, the breath of life. D, a breathing exercise. E, a man-eating fish.
Oh, God, I like that one. Okay, you may butcher the English language, prana and piranha. That's it.
I love it. I love it. It cracked me up so bad. I knew I had to
Sharon,
throw.
if you keep writing in French, he's going to feed you to the E.
Yes, you were going to the E. All right. Well, I will tell you all it is. A, moving or breathing forth. So, she was getting into that stuff. I might ask a couple more questions, while we go on, in that thing. But that's the other book, and you guys have got to get these books. They're so packed with information, and she really goes in very in depth what everything means. Symbolisms are all in there. Charts are in here. Meditations are in here. Everything is laid out for you. Everything. Okay. But now, so now we were touching on the prana. You started touching on the prana. You gave us the 5. Okay. So can you just kind of elaborate more on how that brings us like greater prosperity and success, maybe?
Yes. So prana is in this subtle body, or in this dimension. It's in a different dimension, and it's called the pranamaya kosha, which is our vital energy sheath. The prana is this life force energy that is flowing through specific pathways in this energy sheath, vital energy sheath. And these pathways in India, they call them nadi, N-A-D-I. And in China, they call them meridian. So prana, or chi, life force energy, chi, whatever you'd like to call it, is flowing through these pathways. And when many pathways come together and intersect with each other, that's called chakra. Chakra means wheel in Sanskrit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a wheel because it has a hub of intense pranic energy or life force energy, and it also has spokes that radiate outward from the hub. That's why it's called wheel. And so the entire system of prana flowing through these tubes of energy, forming plexuses, chakras, it's in a different dimension. It's actually keeping us alive. It is said in the ancient scriptures of India, in the Upanishads, it is said that when prana is in the body, that is what is defined as life. And when prana leaves the body, that is what is defined as death. So this life force energy that we call prana is keeping us alive. It is allowing us to be upright, to have motion, and to have heat. When the body dies, there's no motion, no heat, nothing. There's nothing. You become cold. So prana is life itself, really. And it's fascinating that something that's in a subtle body is what life is, because we don't think of it that way. We never think of this anything on a different dimension regulating and keeping the body alive. Yet that is what the truth is. Prana is that life force energy.
Yeah.
So prana is life. It is life itself.
That is awesome. Now you were talking about the how do you say it? Nadis? Nadis?
Nadi.
Okay. I was showing a picture for those that are watching on our live feed. I don't know if y'all can see it. It looks like 50 million lines going through the human body. Kind of reminds me of like the wires on the poles in India, the electric wires. Right? There's 50 million of them. So that is that is that system that, we have that many pathways in the human body. It's just beyond. But she goes really in depth into describing everything that it does in this book. It's pretty amazing to go through.
It's important to understand that if you were to dissect a corpse, you would not find a nadi, a chakra, a meridian, an acupuncture point, which are all chakras, by the way. All acupuncture points are chakras. You would not find that anywhere
Right,
if you just dissect a corpse.
right,
Yet that is what is keeping you alive. That's
Right.
the most incredible thing. And that's the reason why Western allopathic medicine doesn't believe in chakras and nadis, because they can't see them. They are in a different dimension. They're in your subtle body. And I'll give an example of the subtle body, because we have this manomaya kosha, which is your mental, emotional body, and that's where your senses are. Your senses are not in your physical body, and let me demonstrate why. I'm sure you've heard about the near-death experience, where a person is catapulted out of their body. Maybe they're up on the ceiling, and they're watching themselves being resuscitated. They're watching the doctors, they're watching the nurses scurrying around saying code blue, they're watching the defibrillator, and they're watching themselves being revived. What is watching themselves? It certainly isn't their own eyes that are watching themselves. They're not watching, your eyes are not watching your own body from up on the ceiling.
Mhm.
So what's watching yourself? What's hearing the doctors as they're talking to each other?
That's got to be
It is your
the
manomaya kosha. It's your subtle senses that are in your subtle body. That's where your senses are. They're in a different dimension. We are multidimensional beings. We can't even walk around and see and hear and taste and smell without being multidimensional.
right. And then these pathways and everything too. It's kind of like, you know, it's our energy. So it's kind of, think of it as like an electric current. So if you die, those electric currents are cut off. So you wouldn't see them anyway. You know, like a lot of people will say, like they weigh the body a minute before death, a minute after death, and it's going to weigh a little different because they say the soul leaves, you know? And I believe that that's true. I mean, if you could be that, you know, scientific, right? But what is it? You know, what is it that makes that much of a difference in weight of a body in a matter of a minute from life and death? You know, what leaves you? But then what could come back? You know, and I've done that. I did that. I came back. I died. I accidentally overdosed on pain pills that I was taking for a broken collarbone. Went through a whole experience. I came back. I realized I was dying. Screamed finally that I don't want to die, and got slammed back into my body. And ever since then, I can hear when a spirit is near me by tones. You know, I mean, I can focus on them if I really truly want to. I can listen to them. I can see them if I really truly want to. But I'd rather just listen for the tones when they come in. But it's an amazing thing, and I didn't see myself like that, but I came back in like backwards because I was floating down a hall, and then I just finally, I couldn't make any sound, I couldn't make any noise whatsoever. I finally made that sound. I finally screamed, "I don't want to die," and I went backwards into my body. So I saw the hallway going away, and then into my living room that was my house, and then slammed. I was on the couch and slammed into my body. I saw that part, but I didn't see myself because I wasn't facing that way. If you understand what I'm saying. But it's definitely.
Yes, but you were seeing the hallway and all those things from a different viewpoint than from within your body, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It was like I was moving in increments down the hall. It was the hallway that I grew up in my mom's house,
Yeah.
right? And I was going down the hallway, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden
so-
things are like floating by me that were in my bedroom when I was growing up. It would be floating by, and I'd try to grab it and disappear. And then I'd move down a little bit closer to the end door, which was my mother's bedroom at the time. You know, so like I'm trying to get her attention, and I'm trying to grab these things. And then when I could finally grab, I moved down some more. As soon as I could finally grab the things, I'd try to throw it at the door because I figured my mom's in there. She's sleeping. I got to wake her up. She's got to help me. Right. This is what I'm thinking in my head because no sound is coming out of my mouth. I can't speak. So as I'm grabbing these things and throwing them at the door, they're disappearing at the door. I'm going, oh, come on, So I'm getting like frustrated and upset and angry, and then I move again, like another 3-foot jump, closer to that door, and then I could really grab the things. And the things are hitting the door, and it was different. And then that's when I realized, because I'm not like walking, I'm not physically walking. I'm like, I'm moving. I'm kind of like gliding. I'm moving. My feet out on the ground. I don't even remember seeing my feet really, but I know I was just kind of like gliding down, and I just jumped forward a bit, jump forward a bit, jump forward a bit. And then I figured, okay, I'm dying. And it was like this dawning. I'm going, oh my God, I'm dying. And then I was trying to speak. I'm like, I don't want to die. And I'm trying like, Mom, I'm trying to say something. Nothing's coming out. I'm like, I don't want to die. And nothing's coming out. And then I finally screamed it. And that's when it finally came out. And then I slammed back. And it was crazy. Ugh. But I definitely
Yeah.
never heard anything about like spirits before that happened. Nothing. Nothing. And then if a spirit gets really close to me, it's really loud. It's kind of like deafening in my ear. It's like you got to back off, and they understand that for some reason, unless it's a really kind of a jerk of a spirit, that wants to really bother you, but and we have those. There are those, but usually they'll back off. It's like, ow, it really hurts and really hurts. But all right, so these energies in the body are just like they absolutely exist. To me, there's just no doubt. Western medicine or not, right? There's just no doubt. There's no doubt. There's a spirit realm. There's no doubt. There's an angel realm. There's no doubt. There's a demonic realm. There's no doubt. That these energies exist. To me, because I've seen
Absolutely.
it. I've dealt with it. Yeah, you've worked with it your whole life. How old were you when you went? How old?
I would say adult life.
Your whole adult life, right? All right. So how old were you when you went? Like, where did you start? Did you go to the ashram like in the mid of your journey, closer to the beginning?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I learned meditation in 1967 during the Summer of Love in the San Francisco Bay Area in Berkeley.
Yeah.
And I went off to India to the ashram in 1970. And at that time, I was 21 years old and turned 22 when I was in the ashram there. So I was very young, but I was an adult, yes. And that's when I became devoted to Maharishi and very involved with the Transcendental Meditation Organization. And I worked on his staff for 6 years, personal staff.
That is amazing. That just, what an experience. I've had several people on that have done that type of thing. Julie, Renee. She was like in ashram for many, many years, and to me, it's like it's just such a blessing that you get to go do something like that. Like I couldn't see that happening for me. I mean, it's such a big leap to just do that.
Well, it was just part of my journey. It was inevitable for me to do that, and it was something I wanted very, very much. I mean, I was very desirous of learning from Maharishi and studying with him, and I was very devoted to him. So, and very devoted to his ideals and what he was attempting to do in the world, which was to change the world through meditation, which, by the way, he did, and was very successful at it. And so it was a very powerful experience, and it changed me a lot. Obviously, living in that ashram with him was. I wrote a book about it. I wrote a memoir. It's called Maharishi and Me: Seeking Enlightenment with the Beatles Guru.
Nice.
And that memoir is astounding. It's
Nice.
a tell-all book of what it's really like to live in an ashram with a spiritual master from India.
Wow.
And completely different than people visualize or think that it might be. It's
Yeah.
sort of like going to a training camp. It's like being in the military and going to drill training, you know?
Right, because I
Military
picture
drill
it, you know,
instructor.
you got
It's
pillows
pretty intense.
around, everyone's sitting, everyone's meditating, everyone's fasting, no one's having sex. I mean, you know, what more, you know, what more is there? I mean, well, Mama's cracking up over there. Well, it's true. You were celibate while you were there. They were all celibate while they're there. You know, you're supposed to be
No,
devoted.
they weren't all celibate. And by
No?
the way, Maharishi wasn't either.
Oh,
Even
really?
though he told everyone else to be.
Okay. 'Cause I thought I read that you know, celibate for so many years or something. It's like, yeah, that's what I was going. I don't think I can do that.
Well, I was celibate when I was there. You know, I followed the instructions and I was celibate, but some of the people weren't. You know, they were
Human.
people. You know, they're
Human.
human. And so
Yeah.
was Maharishi. He was also human.
Ah.
So.
Yeah, and then those times too. Mama, what do you got to say about this?
I want to get the book, The Maharishi and Me. I want to get that book. I really do. Of all your books, I think that's the one that I want to, because I would love to get all of the books, but the budget just doesn't cut it. But The Maharishi and Me, I think that one is the one I want to read.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Susan,
I promise you won't be able to put it down.
Sorry?
She said you won't be able to put it down.
I will get it and I will let you know.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
Good.
Quick question, Sandra. What does the Sanskrit word for chakra mean, and how do you pronounce it correctly?
It's pronounced chakra.
Okay.
Chakra.
Chakra.
It's not
Chakra.
pronounced chakra, I promise you. There's no such word in the English language or the Sanskrit language as chakra. That does not exist. That word does not exist. It's pronounced chakra, and it is a Sanskrit word that means wheel.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah.
And what is something else? What is a chakra? You asked. Well, it is an energy center in the body, in the subtle body. I mean, it's an energy center in your subtle body that is regulating your physical body, and that is also associated with certain aspects of your life. For example, the root chakra, that is at the base of your spine, and it is associated with the elimination system, your ability to defecate and urinary tract and all of that. And it's associated with survival instinct, and it's associated with your will to live and that sort of thing. The second chakra is your sacral chakra, which is, or sacral, however you pronounce that word. It's in your pelvic area. It's associated with your gonads, the female and male genitalia. It's associated with procreation. The third chakra is the navel chakra, which is in the area of your stomach and the organs around the stomach, pancreas and so on, liver, all of those organs. And that is also associated with your ego and your will. And then there's the heart chakra, which is in the heart area, and that is associated with the organs, the heart and the lungs area. And then we have the throat chakra, which is in your throat, in cervical area, and that is associated with your expression, your creative expression, and your ability to talk and have speech and sing and all of that sort of thing. And then we have the third eye, which is the sixth chakra, which is right in the center of your head in the area of the pineal gland. And that is the eye of illumination. It's the center of clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient abilities of higher awareness. And then we have the crown chakra above your head. And that is associated with oneness and wholeness and union with the divine, the ultimate truth of existence, and the union of all male and female energies together in oneness. Now, those are the 7 major chakras, but then there are 7 other chakras that I've talked about in my book. The book's called The Big Book of Chakras and Chakra Healing. And when my publisher asked me to write that book, I went back to the ancient scriptures of India to find the most authentic information that I could find about that topic. And what I found was astounding in the ancient Vedic and Tantric scriptures. And I managed to put them in this book easy enough so that people could really understand these really esoteric concepts about the chakras, because the whole thing is extremely esoteric. It's all about as above, so below. It's about how this individuality is connected with universality on the level of the pranamaya kosha, or the subtle body, our energy body. And it's just fascinating. So I got extremely fascinated with the topic, and then I wrote this book, which is like an encyclopedia of the chakras. It will tell you everything you ever wanted to know about chakras, and by the way, it will also tell you everything you never wanted to know about chakras. That's how extensive and detailed this book is.
Yes.
But it starts very basic. Don't be intimidated by the fact that it's complex, because it starts really basic, step by step. Like first you put your little toe in the water, and then you maybe put another toe in, and eventually you're swimming around in the swimming pool. But it takes a while for you to go step by step and learn the basics. So that's what this book does, and it's been very widely praised, and it's won many book awards, and it just won 2 more book awards in the last week.
Okay, so that's another book on my list I have to get.
Yeah.
So,
And this one.
okay.
And this one. And this
Yes.
one is really good.
Okay,
I'm gonna do. It's gonna be quiz time again. Before I
Amazon's going to be like, what are you doing?
before I ask the next question of you, Susan, I'm going to ask you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Quiz time in the book of Awaken Your Third Eye. Okay, the other book, not the book that we're discussing, but this stuff is covered in there. Okay, but this is just the in general questions. Okay. What is Kundalini?
Kundalini.
Kundalini. Okay, what is it? A, energy in the third eye. B, serpent power. C, a sign I'm experiencing higher consciousness. D, a goddess from India. Or E, a type of pasta.
Having Kundalini for supper, hello.
I love it. So, okay, so I want to see some answers in the chat room. Okay, A, energy in the third eye. B, serpent power. C, a sign I'm experiencing higher consciousness. D, a goddess from India. Or E, a type of pasta. And now I'm hungry.
For some reason, I'm saying B.
You're saying B?
A serpent.
Sharon says D. Jacob says C. No, this time Mama's right. Ding, 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 ding. Okay,
Yes.
serpent power. So, Susan, could you elaborate on what Kundalini is?
The word Kundalini simply means curled up or coiled up energy. And that's why it's sometimes called the serpent power, which when it's asleep, it coils up. And this energy is lodged in below your root chakra at the base of your spine. And it is a spiritual form of prana. It is pranic energy. It's life force energy, but it's a special kind of life force energy, which brings spiritual awakening and illumination. And it flows through a specific nadi. If you remember what the nadi is, the nadi is like a meridian, same as a meridian. It is, the prana flows through that. So there's a specific nadi called Sushumna nadi, through which Kundalini flows. It goes all the way from the base of your spine up to the top of your head. And in average individuals, Kundalini is completely asleep. person where Kundalini would be completely asleep would be somebody who has absolutely no interest in intellectual pursuits or higher pursuits, or certainly not higher consciousness. They're only interested in eating, drinking, sleeping, and having sex, and that's it.
Mhm.
So that
Men.
would be someone whose Kundalini is completely asleep. Everyone who's listening to this show, your Kundalini is awakened to some degree or another. You can force Kundalini to flow up through Sushumna Nadi through doing spiritual practices. There are some practices that are more effective than others for awakening Kundalini. Some of the really effective practices would be breathing exercises called pranayama, bandhas, which are muscular locks, and mudras also. And these are, which means gestures. And these are taught in my various books. They're taught in Awaken Your Third Eye. There are also other ones are taught in the book, the big book of chakras and chakra healing. Even in the meditation books that I've done, automatically Kundalini will rise up when you're doing meditation. So there are many ways to wake up Kundalini, and the benefits are great because the chakras become alive and awaken. You do develop superpowers, or what I call subtle sensory perception. Some people call it extrasensory perception, but I don't like that word because it implies that the senses, that you can have experiences outside of the senses, but that's not true. It's just subtle senses or super senses that you're using when you're having clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsentience.
Mhm.
So Kundalini will help to awaken those and also help you to attain spiritual enlightenment
Mhm.
when Kundalini goes all the way up to the top of the head. So it's a very powerful energy. When it's flowing upward, it is the spiritual energy. When it's flowing downward, it is the sexual energy. And like I said, in most people, it's just the sleep at the base of the spine. So that's Kundalini.
Right, and there are like exercises and all kinds of things in the book, and explaining like how you can experience like
I think it's interesting that the Kundalini is a snake, and you say when it rises, it's in healing. It's our thinking, and when it comes to the medical field, on the staff of the medical field is a snake.
yeah.
So, and a snake is a healer in my sense.
Exactly.
In these books there are
Because the caduceus is actually a symbol of three nadis. The Sushumna nadi, through which Kundalini flows, that's the rod in the center of the caduceus.
Mhm.
And then there's two circuits that are twining up through the caduceus. And those represent two of the major nadis that are associated with Sushumna nadi. And those are called Ida nadi and Pingala nadi. Ida nadi regulates your your parasympathetic nervous system, and Pingala nadi, associated with your right nostril, that regulates your sympathetic aspect of your autonomic nervous system. So the left nostril and the right nostril, they regulate your autonomic nervous system. And if you recall from biology, the sympathetic has to do with the fight or flight response, and the parasympathetic has to do with just maintaining homeostasis in the body, basically.
Awesome. Sharon says I'm in another world. No, I'm looking up these things. I was trying to find these pictures, and I was actually trying to find the exercise that she was that you put in the book about the Kundalini and how to exercise that and how to like achieve this like really great sexual experience and whatnot. But it's like I can't find it.
Then it would put our show in a different
And then
time.
Mama put, the thought of the staff and the the serpents in my head, and I know I seen that in the other book, so I wanted to show you that picture. So yes, I was in my own little world because I'm like looking up all these things in the book. I'm trying to be like, you know, the foxy nerd.
And that's what's interesting about doing a video.
I'm sorry,
That's-
Susan. Say that again. Susan?
Please repeat. Yes, I can't hear.
Oh, what did you say?
Please repeat.
I was asking you to repeat what
Oh,
you
I
said.
I was just starting to say that the Caduceus is pictured in both the Third Eye book and also in the Chakra book. In both of the books, there's an illustration of the Caduceus. And
Right.
then, I don't know, you were looking up some specific exercises. There's so many exercises
I
in
know.
the Third Eye book to help you to awaken Kundalini. There's tons of exercises.
That's why I
And
couldn't find it.
also in the chakra book and chakra healing, the big book of chakras and chakra healing, there's a lot of exercises in that book, different exercises in each book to help you to awaken Kundalini and to attain higher consciousness. And by the way, the more Kundalini is awakened, the more prana you have flowing through your body. The more prana you have flowing through your body, the more charismatic you are, the more magnetically attractive you are, the more influential you are, the more successful you are. Prana is the key to greater happiness, well-being, success on all levels, and it makes you sexy. It makes you magnetic. People want to be around you. People flock to you if you have an abundance of prana flowing through your subtle body.
Awesome. Awesome. So it's a wonderful thing. Now, how have you experienced it personally?
Well, I believe that I told you the story of how I had my first meditation experience and Kundalini awakening all at the same time when I first tried to meditate on my own at age 18. So that was a very powerful experience. And since that time, certainly I've been on a spiritual path. So Kundalini will definitely put you onto a spiritual path and will help you to stay on that path. So I've been doing spiritual disciplines for, over 50 years. Meditation, intuition, prayer, affirmation. These are the things that I practice on a daily basis. And my book can help anyone to learn how to do these. These are skills that you can learn. It's important for people to understand that intuition is a skill. And it requires practice, just like learning to play the piano or like learning to a foreign language, to speak a foreign language. It requires patience, it requires practice, it requires dedication. And so I say practice, 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 practice every day. Ask and receive, as I said. Everything that I teach is based upon one principle: ask and it shall be given unto you. So start a dialogue with spirit within, spirit with a capital S when I say spirit. Start a dialogue. Begin to speak with a divine being that you feel comfortable about, that you recognize, whether that's Jesus, whether that's Holy Spirit, whether that's Lord Buddha, Lord Krishna, whether that's Mother, the Divine Mother, Gaia, whoever you want to have a conversation with, call upon the divine being. And then begin to ask questions and receive guidance. Avoid fortune-telling questions if you want to go far in spirituality. But ask questions, ask for guidance, ask for inspiration, ask for healing, ask for whatever it is you want in your life. And then continue that dialogue. And by the way, don't be afraid to make a mistake. When you first learn to play the piano, you're going to make tons of mistakes. It's not going to sound very harmonious or very wonderful to somebody listening. Same with learning intuition. At first, you might make a lot of mistakes, but don't be discouraged by those mistakes. Just continue to work with it and continue to practice, practice, practice. But the best book that I've written about developing your intuition is called Awaken Your Divine Intuition. And that teaches the method that I teach people, how to listen to that still small voice and how to receive guidance and inspiration from within. You can learn everything that I teach through my book. Isn't that great? You don't even have to take a class with me or spend much money. It costs practically nothing to learn everything I have to teach you.
She's
Just read my
very
book.
thorough.
You can actually read them at the library. You can get them at the library. Every one of my books, you can ask for, for a book and get it into your library and read it.
Yeah, but you know what? I have my big library behind me. I like having these books in my library,
Yeah,
so I can
true.
go and get them when I want them. And I'm going to add more of your book.
Yeah, okay. We're making a shopping list as you speak,
I
Susan.
know.
Yeah, shopping list is going, right?
Yeah, I mean, when Mama moves from Canada down here, which I'm really going to convince her of doing, I'm going to get her into Philly at some point. We can share books. Benefit.
Well, you got all the books, and I got all the decks.
That's true, right? See, it's a win-win. It's a win-win. Absolutely. Let's see.
So, Susan, I have a question. When I've been told that my chakras are out of balance, and you need to have a chakra balancing, what exactly is that?
Teach me. I have no
Okay.
idea what that is.
Because I love when people say that, that your chakras are out of balance, and I'm going, really? And how do I fix this? And then, oh, you come see me, and I'll work it out for you.
Come see me and pay me some money.
Exactly.
And I'll balance the chart. Okay, so believe me, I really combed the ancient scriptures of India to find the most authentic information I could find about the chakras. There is not one mention of balancing chakras in the ancient scripture. The only thing that is talked about is the increasing of prana through specific practices.
Right.
And when you increase prana, the flow of prana through your subtle body, you're waking up your chakras because the chakras are made of prana. So you want your chakras to be open and healthy because they are regulating your physical body. And by the way, the health of your chakras determines the health of your body. So you want your chakras to have enormous pranic energy flowing through them, which means they are healthy and strong and awake. And that's what you want. Mm-hmm. So by doing some simple exercises, such as breathing exercises, for example, you can awaken great pranic energy flowing through your body. Prana comes to you through several things: breathing, exercise, sunlight, and food. And by the way, food means food masticated, that means chewed, until it becomes liquid. So if you can have a good diet, eat healthy food, live food, organic food, and chew it well, and also get energy through breath, through the air, that's prana, through the air, through the sunlight, through some light exercise, not weightlifting or not like really heavy weightlifting or anything that's like strenuous, but light exercise, swimming, walking, little jogging, something like that. And other maybe aerobic exercises and some other things, stretching, yoga, asanas, yoga postures. These are the ways to increase prana because, like I said, prana is in those things that I just mentioned in a new way.
That whole subject just fascinates me to no end. It's like that's what draws me the most is the prana. That's what I'm drawn to most in all the subjects, all these things, because of the prana healing. Just that's what I'm interested in. So,
then why don't you study it instead of just wishing it?
I know I'm going to, Mama. I'm going to, but you know what? You push me all the time to do all these other things, and I'm like,
okay, but we've got this down.
Yay!
We got this side down. Now we need you to be a prana healer.
All right, you know what it is now? Time for another quiz.
Oh shoot, you know what? I didn't sign up for all this hard work.
No, this is an easy one. All right. What is yoga? She was saying exercise. All right. What is
Yeah.
yoga? Okay. A physical exercise program. B, breathing exercises. C, Eastern philosophy. D, a Sanskrit word that means to yoke. Or E, boo boo's pal.
Hey, boo boo.
Hey, boo. You want to do some
What
yoga?
was B again? You got me on yogi.
All right. A is physical exercise program. B is breathing exercises. C
B.
is Eastern philosophy. D is a Sanskrit word that means to yoke. Or E, boo boo's pal. So anybody in the chat room care to venture a guess on that one? No? Anybody? Sharon says B. Mama, you said what?
B.
B. Eh. Wrong.
Eh.
The answer is D, a Sanskrit word that means to yoke. Now, Susan, would you care to elaborate?
Yes, I'd be glad to elaborate on that. Yoga is not an exercise that you do in the gym.
No.
I know that's going to be shocking to everybody out there. Yoga is not an exercise in a gym. The word yoga comes from a Sanskrit root, which means to yoke,
Yep, Jacob got it
Or-
right.
to create, in other words, union, yoking or union.
Okay.
So what are we yoking? We're yoking individual spirit with universal spirit. That's what yoga is. Yoga is actually a state of mind. It's not even a practice. It's a state of mind, and it's also a philosophy. One of the six systems, it's a system of philosophy of ancient India. So yoga is not something done in a gym. It's not something for physical fitness. It is truly spiritual union of the individual soul with the divine.
Mhm.
So attaining yoga or attaining the state of yoga, there are several pathways to that state. One is called jnana yoga, which means intellectual discernment. Another is called bhakti yoga, which means devotion to God. Another is called karma yoga, which means doing selfless service. Another is called Raja Yoga, meaning royal yoga, which involves meditation and other practices, but mainly deep meditation. There is integral yoga, which integrates many different paths of yoga. What else? There are some other yogas also, but I can't think of them at the moment.
As long as
So that's
none of
all
them
there is.
have
There's
goats.
different pathways to yoga or union.
I just don't. I can't get my head around goat yoga. I'm sorry. It just nope.
Goat yoga is not a yoga.
It's not.
Goat yoga
Is
a
yoga
spiritual venture.
if the yoga that everybody's doing as the exercise is not actual yoga, what actually is it? How did it get the name yoga? Because I've also heard the term Kundalini yoga.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought up that question because one of the yogas that I forgot in my list was Hatha yoga. And Hatha yoga means physical culture. And in Hatha yoga, you do specific practices. Some of these practices are asana. Asana means yoga posture. Pranayama, which is breathing exercise. Bandha, which means muscular lock. Mudra, which means specific gestures. So these are some of the practices that are practiced in Hatha yoga. And one of those practices is asana. And the only thing that's being done in the name of yoga these days are these postures.
Right.
And they are specific, there are specific ancient postures that people do. And somehow, for some bizarre reason, the most popular one is downward dog. Maybe it's because of the name, but now it's become so popular. Don't ask me why. but it is part of one of the ancient yogic exercises called Surya Namaskar, which is sun worship, and the downward dog is part of that Surya Namaskar, which has several different postures involved with it.
Yeah, I did Power 90, you know, the beach body thing, and you have to do that archer pose thing there, go down to downward dog, you know. So that was used in that too, and that was just a regular exercise. So they just brought it in. And planking. Lots of
Oh,
planking.
God.
Yeah.
But that's it.
So you asked, what is yoga?
Yes.
Well, I actually defined it a few minutes ago. Yoga
Yes.
means union of individual spirit with universal spirit. So what it really means is spiritual enlightenment. It means the end of your journey, the soul's journey. And the end of the soul's journey is to attain that divine union, to experience God directly and to unite with God directly.
Mhm. Well,
Okay.
we are coming down to our final 5 minutes.
Oh,
And
wow. Already?
yeah, I know. It's crazy, right? Now, I got to ask you, what was that? Do you have a truck racing in your living room? I don't know what that was. But Susan, are
A
you?
motorcycle just went by my RV. I live in an RV. Motorcycle just went by.
Oh my goodness, it was flying.
Tell that dude to slow down.
My God. Thank you. Jacob said, great show, ladies. I loved it. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We appreciate y'all sharing. We appreciate you all going to our YouTube channel, liking and subscribing and sharing that as well. To all your pages, right? You tell your friends, okay? We're here to help. We're here to help. I hope this helped people. I hope we entertained you. I hope we helped you. I hope you got a little clearance, a little guidance. I hope you enjoyed the
Hopefully
little.
add it to your shopping list.
Yeah, yes, I know. Our shopping lists are getting bigger, you know. But Susan, are you writing any more books, or are you going to kind of draw the line at the million that you have going now?
My latest book, all right, so I have 2 books coming out soon. One of them is called Earth Energy Meditation.
Ooh.
And that one is really a lot about divine protection of your energy field and things like that, and how to not become a energy sponge, to overcome energy vampirism and things like that. So it's called Earth Energy Meditation. And then I have another book that is due, that I have to write this year. It's called Prosperity Meditation. So these are my 2 latest books that will be coming out soon.
Okay. And out of all your books, what is your favorite? Well, if anyone could only get just one of your books, which would be the one that you would tell them to get?
I would probably tell them to get Awaken Your Divine Intuition, because I believe that intuition is the most vital thing that we need to learn in this time of uncertainty.
Could not agree more. Again, that's that thing that will keep you safe. You know, your intuition kicks in, you best listen. You know, saying don't do this.
Exactly.
Every fiber of your being saying don't do it. Don't do it. I trust that. That is great.
Yeah.
But I really thoroughly enjoyed you being on the show. I'm sorry that we had to reschedule and, you know, going through all that to get you back on here. And I'm just so glad that we worked it out and that we actually did it and you're here. What kind of, like, let's see, what do we got? How much time we got? We got a couple minutes.
You got 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes.
All right. What words of wisdom now? Can you?
90 seconds.
90 seconds. Can
In
you,
under a minute.
yeah, you got a minion. 1 minute. Quick little blurb, words of wisdom.
Okay, well, first of all, I'll do my little pitch, and that is go to my website, drsusan.org, drsusan.org. Go there and check out all my books, and there's tons of information on that website, especially on the author page. You can listen to a lot of interviews and see a lot of videos and so on.
60
And
seconds.
also I have another website, divinetravels.com. Divine Travels, that's plural on the word travels, divinetravels.com. That's DIVINE travels.com. And then my words of wisdom are this. You're very lucky that you are in a human body, so make best use of that. It's very rare to get a human body. The advantage of living in a human body is that you can actually attain higher states of consciousness. That is not available to other species. So make the best use of this body by practicing spiritual disciplines while you have the chance. And that is your primary purpose and focus for this lifetime, is to realize who you really are.
10
Develop
seconds.
your true divine nature and realize your true divine nature and develop your true pathway, walk your true pathway, develop your true gifts, and become all that you can be.
Awesome.
And it's not that hard to do. It's like learning as any other kind of skill. Just practice, 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 and don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. And I got to play our exit. And everybody, thank you.
See y'all next
Video.
on Thursday.
See you Thursday. See you in a couple of days. Thank you again for joining us for another episode of The Fox Den. We would love it if you would go over to our YouTube channel, which is The Fox Den, hosted by Gina Bankston. Please like and subscribe our channel and join us in the chat room there while we stream live every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you next week. Good night.